Art Production Fund was invited by the Times Square Alliance to propose projects for Times Square. And when Yvonne and I were looking around the neighborhood, we saw this empty lot. It was a few blocks away from Times Square on the corner of 46th and 8th Avenue. And it was a completely barren lot, you know, 2 blocks away from the hustle and bustle of Times Square. And it seemed so ready and primed for art. It was never meant to be a public art site, but we approached the owners of the lot, the Schubert organization, and they were very generous, and they gave us use of the land for up until 1 year. So we decided to put a series of 3 projects on the site. All of the artists that we wanted to work with here on this site had work that was dealing with the socio-economic realities of our time, work that was dealing with our environment and our relationship to our environment. Seeing this property made it very apparent that work like this was something that would make sense here. The kind of discrepancy between this super empty, totally barren lot and the hustle and bustle of Times Square really raised those questions of how are we dealing with our environment? How are we relating to the planet that we live on and to each other? So Josephine Meckseper is the second artist that is presenting here, and her work has always dealt with modern life and the interaction of people with the products and the world around them. So we were very sure that her work would make great sense here. And when she saw the site, she almost immediately had the idea to put the oil pumps here. And in fact, they have been very popular and have really started to bring up the topics that she wanted raised. It's incredible when you put art out in the public. You really think that people are going to react a certain way, and you're never really sure how people are going to react to the artwork. But here in Times Square, we get such an incredible, vast array of people. There's people that work here and are here, every day for years. And then there's so many tourists that come in just to go through and see the city. And then there's specifically people that are coming to see the Broadway shows. So many different people from so many different walks of life. And in this particular case, really very interesting and funny reactions. Mostly people are convinced that there really is oil and that we actually are digging for oil, and that there is a gas company that has moved in to this empty lot, which is very funny and really does bring up comments and questions about how we live and what we think is important and what we're focused on as a society.
Josephine is such an interesting artist. She deals with socio-political issues, and in this case, she's really dealing with the subject of natural resources, and it's a realistic sculpture. So in a way, the natural resource that she is talking about, which is oil, is not visible in this project. It's a conceptual object or resource. In so many of her works, she references the goods that we desire, diamonds, gloves, the beautiful shoes on a mannequin. But simultaneously, she's always dealing with art history. With the Manhattan Oil Project, she's certainly embracing the idea of this very masculine, modernist sculpture that we do often see within the public realm. Artworks by, let's say, Calder or Tang Li, the kinetic aspects, Marc de Souvreau, to name a few. So by creating the realistic form of an oil pump, she's also claiming it as her own work. In more of the domestic pieces and gallery shows that she's created, some of the work most recently was in conversation with Rauschenberg, and the way that he dealt with certain forms, like let's say the umbrella. She just did a great show at Timothy Taylor Gallery in London. So she is always dealing with these ongoing art historical dialogue, but simultaneously brings something so new to it, which is the dependency and the desire for the objects around us and how we have a relationship to them. So it's such a great project on entirely new platform for Josephine to show within. Well, in fact, Josephine is an incredibly beautiful woman and very stylish too. She is mid-career artist. She's 47 and she has very radical and strong, focused ideas in her work. The thing with Josephine is that she's not criticizing, let's say, the way that one uses fashion or that one uses oil. She talks about her own dependency to these things in life. So she's really, in her work, it's almost like an open thought process. It's, in fact, highly edited, but that's why people can relate to it so well, because we all have these relationships to these things.